We're now on the agenda, item 4, public session. Be resolved that the board reconvenes public session.
Second.
All
All in
those-
favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
We are now back in public session. Item 5 is student presentation. We do not have any tonight, so we will move to item 6, which is the student representative's report.
Can you hear me? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. It's so nice to see everyone. I hope you all are doing well. As we close out the end of the year, I just have a few things to highlight that was going on in PHS last month and this month currently. So AP exams are back in May, and I heard from a lot of my peers that it went well and they weren't too bad. A lot of spring sports came to a close this season, and athletes had a very good season. And I know that the track team had won GMCs, and I have a few friends on there that placed there and also at sectionals, and they will be moving on to groups. And I'm so proud of all of them and the entire team as well. There was a Fashion Club fashion show on May 31st, and I heard it was a big turnout, and they got to show off fashion from different decades. The senior class had our prom on June 2nd, which was last Thursday. It was a lot of fun. We danced all night. The food was good. Even the DJ got in the middle of the circle. Like, we were just having a good time. And we had about 3 photo booths. The decorations were nice, and it was just a great turnout overall. And a big shout out to Mr. Brown and Ms. Pernelda for putting the whole thing together. It was really nice. And this week, some freshmen and freshman seminar mentors, including myself and Veer as well, we were able to talk to some of the 8th graders slash upcoming freshmen just to give them information about what they should expect when they transfer over to the high school next year. And they were really engaging and had a lot of questions to ask and were really like intrigued with the conversation we were having. So we really appreciate that. And it was Veer's idea as well, so thank you, Veer, for pulling up the idea to do that. Finals started today, and a lot of students and teachers have been working hard to prepare for this, and I just wish everybody success with their finals. And then us seniors started picking up our cap and gowns today, and we'll continue into tomorrow starting at 12, and it's really weird and bittersweet for us because I didn't think I would be picking up my cap and gown this fast. But I'm really excited, and I can't wait to see what the future has for all of us. And lastly, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you on the board. You have not only made a change in the way I view things, but the way I interact with people as well. And when I first came in, I was really nervous and shy, and it was through Zooms that I made it a little bit weirder. But as time went on, I got to be more comfortable, and you guys just welcomed me with open arms, and I really appreciate it as well. Ooh, I get a little emotional, sorry. And a special word to Veer, you're going to crush it next year being the senior rep, and I already know you have a bright future ahead of you, and I wish you nothing but the best happiness and success, and thank you all so much.
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's well. As everyone's getting ready for summer, I can sense in the hallways that people have a weight off their shoulders and there's less overall tension in the halls. But over the last few months, some of the most notable things that have happened include the AP exams, which went very smoothly. There was also Jazz Under the Stars, which was a huge success, and everyone was really happy that it was brought back. And I was there. I also saw many members of the board there. It was a blast, and the performances were amazing. There's also sectionals for sports happening right now, GMCs and groups. As I mentioned, the track team. I know, I personally know many members on the track team who are going to groups, and I wish them the best of luck. Currently, we're running through finals, and I just want to note that this is actually my first year taking finals, despite being a junior, because COVID had delayed finals for everybody. So currently in the school, the only people who've taken finals before are the seniors, and so it's really a novel process for everybody. and I've heard from students that they've received conflicting information and they didn't exactly know that they didn't have to attend if they didn't have finals for the class. For example, if they had an AP class. Also, as I mentioned, we had an event where, after speaking to Mr. Baldessano, I organized with Miss April a meeting with the 8th graders. And it was a huge success, and we hope to continue it next year, where instead of counselors speaking to the students, we got actual high school students to speak to the students in order to transmit that message about the high school and how it is in a more acceptable and understandable format to the students. We hope to do it in person next year. We had to do it virtual this year because of voting. There was also recently club elections and preparations for next year. Many clubs and organizations are preparing fundraisers already and organizing officers. And on that note, most people agree that this has been a really great year, especially compared to during virtual, and really there's the board to thank for that. Thank you, each and every one of you, for the contributions that you've made to help supporting the school system and Piscataway High School through these tough times. And it's really just amazing to see how far we've come and to be able to be living through this time and see us rise from this adversity. So I would also like to thank Anaya for being a great mentor, and I wish her the best for the future. And I hope everyone has a wonderful summer.
So Anaya and Veer, thank you very much. I want to just say a couple of words. Veer, you will be back with us next year. We appreciate your junior year. You did a wonderful job. We have a little gift for you as well. Dr. Connors and I will come down. Anaya, you've been with us for 2 years, and you are heading off to college next year, and we know you're going to do terrifically, and we are very, very proud of you. And we're really lucky that we had your input. You guys, both of you, did a wonderful job in conveying messages back and forth, acting as a liaison for the board and the high school, and a bunch of wonderful ideas that really came to fruition. So we appreciate it. And Anaya, this is your, again, last meeting. We're all sad, but we are very excited to see what you do, and I hope you come back and visit us. So congratulations, and Dr. Connors and I will come down now.
I would also like to congratulate you too. I'm so proud of you. You've really reformed the student rep position, and you're a speaker of the students. You represent the students. You've completely revisioned what I could imagine the position to be, and I'm really proud of you as a friend and a fellow board member. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so excited to see what you do in Veer. I'm so happy you're still with us. Thank you.
Congratulations, you two. Awesome. Anaya going to HBCU. We've been going for that. Thank you, Ms. Smith, because I know that's one of been our powerhouses of trying to get more acclimation and getting people driving in the area. I know you're going to do fantastic, and you truly have come along because your voice. I remember you being a small, little, quiet introvert and starting to speaking up and taking on some tough issues and actually speaking and saying that and having power in that. So that's great. Veer, also, I think what you said made so much of a difference. Students being able to translate a message that's getting mixed up or convoluted between adults and being able to help that transition, that says so much when a child can look at peer-to-peer and understand that this is real, and you're going to give them the real facts and say, no, this is how this actually works. So congratulations to the both of you.
Now, with that, we will move to item 7, which is the President's report. And I just have a couple of items. First is that last night, Piscataway High School held its annual awards night, where students are awarded scholarships specifically designed for Piscataway High School students. It's a wonderful evening that showcases both the achievements of our students as well as the generosity of our greater community. A total of 58 students, including Anaya, received at least one of the 85 scholarships. The donors represent individuals, companies, and corporations, parent-teacher organizations, foundations, associations, cultural organizations, and more. The largest donor is the Cullen family. Jim Cullen, an alumni from the first graduating class of Piscataway High School, 1960, represented his family, who for the past 20 years has donated 5 $10,000 scholarships to students in financial need who will attend Rutgers University. Other notable awards included PBL PHS Biomedical Research Scholarship, $1,000 per year for 4 years for students who plan to study biomedical science. The scholarship includes a paid summer internship through their college careers. The Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers awards 3 $1,000 scholarships and student memberships to students pursuing engineering, computer science, or information technology. They also have offered internships to the past winners, and some of those people have gone on to graduate school, medical school, et cetera. The Ingram Family Scholarship and the Clinton and Jolene Wang Scholarship are both alumni families who are proud of the education their children received in Piscataway and want to give back to benefit other Piscataway High School students. I know that Mr. Ingram, I think he's graduating this year from Johns Hopkins, and Clinton actually was my son's best friend and best man at the wedding, and he was at West Point, but it is just so nice to see them come back, and anybody can come back and donate. So anybody out there that wants to come back next year and donate any money, any scholarship money, that it'd be great. It'd be great to give back. This scholarship was very memorable. It was Brian McAndrews Scholarship in memory of an alumni who worked in the trades, is awarded to a graduating senior pursuing a career in the trades. Brian had passed away, but he was a great woodworker. And one thing that we are emphasizing here at Piscataway High School is that we'll have graduation 1 week from now, but if you look at the numbers, about 68% go on to college, but there's another 38% or around there that are non-college bound. So we try and emphasize and give opportunities to students who are non-college bound. Congratulations to all the Piscataway High School seniors who received scholarships last night. We applaud your hard work that led you to this moment and look forward to your future accomplishments. The second item is that I also wanted to follow up on some information you all received in your CSO packets about our future efforts to encourage and engage our high school students who will pursue, like I was saying, careers in the trades, who attend technical schools following graduation. Last week, a construction industry event was held at Edison Exposition Center. All students were offered the opportunity to attend this event, and our guidance department reached out specifically to Piscataway High School juniors who had an interest in trade careers. 17 Piscataway High School juniors attended the event, which showcased the construction industry's educational opportunities and occupations and offered many hands-on activities to explore different trades. Our students came away with a greater understanding of career options, educational requirements, stackable and transferable credentials, wage progression, and in some cases, college credits. We appreciate the efforts of our guidance department to bring these kinds of opportunities to our students. And that is my president's report. The next item on the agenda is the superintendent's report.
Thank you. A lot of great things going on in our school district. I want to encourage you to go to the website and look at our Superintendent's Corner for our superintendent's report. Highlights from the highlight events from around the district, our PHS competition winners, middle school concerts, student orientation days. I want to focus on two things, though, which I think are really telling about our district. The first one are field days. Many school children had access to field days this past week or in the coming days here. And we really want to thank the volunteer parents who come out and really put a lot of effort into their kids having a good time and enjoying their friends for the day, and the teachers who work extra hard. So I really thought that was great. And this past Monday, we had our event called the Best of the Boardwalk. We had over 700 people out here in the Loop area here enjoying each other, right? Enjoying being part of this community. And we were really happy to see everybody come out. There were bounce houses and hot dogs and sausage sandwiches and a few other games, but it was really more about being with each other, and it was nice to see. So I'd like to thank the Education Foundation for putting on the Best of the Boardwalk. We used the Education Foundation income, the funds, to fund 3 scholarships this year for seniors going to college and also for teacher grants and building grants. So we really appreciate that. Now I'd like to turn the floor over to David Olivero for a presentation from one of our partners.
Thank you. 3 years ago, the district embarked on a relationship with Synergistic. They are a company that monitors our systems and behaviors in the district and encourages energy saving. That helps the bottom line for the district it helps to save money that we can then use in the classrooms. So tonight we have Scott Muir and Elisa Quaco who are here, and I'll let them step up to the mic for a few words.
Thank you. So my name is Scott Muir, and this is your very own energy specialist, Alicia Quaco. We work with Synergistic. Synergistic, like David said, is it's a behavior-based energy conservation company. So we optimize your energy use so that you can spend the savings where it matters most. And 3 years ago, Piscataway Township Schools decided to act on reducing its utility expenses. And like many other school districts around New Jersey and the country, chose to partner with us. Today, Synergistic would like to recognize your success. As a district, you have reduced the amount of energy you use per square foot by 33%. Your environmental impact has been an emissions reduction of over 12,000 metric tons of CO2. To put that into perspective, it takes 205,000 trees, 10 years, to offset that amount of CO2. Synergistic has recognized Piscataway Township Schools as one of our top-performing school districts nationwide, earning you the Best in Class Award for 2022 and a grant for $2,500. Today, you serve as a model for energy stewardship to school districts around the nation. This could not have been possible without the support of this board, the superintendent, Dr. Ranelli, business administrator, David Oliveira, and the combined efforts of the maintenance team, custodians, each school principal, and the teachers. It's my pleasure to invite Board President Dr. Connors, Superintendent Dr. Ranelli, and the Business Administrator David Oliveira to accept this Best in Class Award for 2022. Thank you, and congratulations. Could you go get a picture?
Yeah, 1 second.
I just want to let everybody know that we all serve many different roles. I've been with the board for 14 years, but 7 of those years was fiscal plannings and operations. And this effort stemmed out of the fact that my kids leave the lights on in every room of the house. And with the energy costs, electric and gas, that adds up. If you ever drive by a big school, you'll see that the lights are on in the parking lot when nobody's there. The lights are on in the schools and nobody's there. And so we partnered with Synergistics to cut our energy costs. And that is a lot of money that we did not have to spend because we had a behaviorist within the school system identifying each and every little opportunity to turn off the light when you're not in the room. What, do you live in a barn?
Next, we have our annual reports of our EVVRS and our HIB. First, I'd like to bring up Colleen Pongratz, our Director of Administrative Services, and she will be presenting our annual EVVRS report. That was one of the documents that we handed out.
Good evening, everyone. So every year, twice a year, we share our student conduct and discipline. We compare it to that discipline that occurred between July and December of 2020 to July and December of 21. We did have some increases because during that time we were home from COVID, but considering the transition and the year that everyone had, I think we fared well with our student code of conduct. And I'd just like to point out to you, about 35% of the information on your document demonstrates some substance abuse just purely at the high school. One of those infractions being alcohol and the remainders being THC. So although we want that to be 0, that is a big proponent of what is on your report. So during last year, during the pandemic, we had virtual instruction for about 5 days a week during this reporting period, as I stated earlier. And our students required some level of intervention, but in combination with our social and emotional supports, wellness activities, mental health and guidance, and partnership between home and school, this reporting period has resulted in a total of 36 infractions. As I shared earlier, the high school had a bit in substance abuse, and the rest of them were mostly in the category is termed violence, but most of those things occurred with fights either in the high school or in some of the middle school. Again, although this is not our preferred response, if you consider the amount of students we have in Piscataway, this is a very small amount, and we're very proud of all the hard work that our teachers, our administrators, and counselors do to support our students. So to continue our work in the reduction in disciplinary infractions, we continue to integrate our positive experience, activities, character education within our school communities. And these experiences are created both in person, and we did them virtually to help everyone navigate as they transition back. This year as well, we put a great focus on mental health services for our students. One of our board committees made the recommendation of a parent workshop for our students on how to cope after COVID. Unfortunately, that was canceled, but we do plan on hosting that next year. All of our K-8 schools implemented or piloted the Second Step SEL program. Our preschool already has it integrated and is part of their curriculum. And that really has provided classroom lessons and in-house interventions to support students, especially as they transition back to school. In the high school this year, we had a wellness videos where the students created videos and shared them out on Schoology to give positive tips to our students. We've had a host of different mindfulness activities, and we continue to run our healthy school activities, such as some schools experienced field day today, just things to give students a mental health break from, academics and have some fun and socialization with one another. We still continue to give group and individual counseling to our students, and we continue to host parent meetings related to mental health to give support to our students. And that concludes my report for conduct. Does anyone have any questions about that?
Yes. In the grand scheme of things, as you said, these are very small and minute in grand scheme of total students. But as you know, we don't want those numbers at all. We would love to have them zero. Since we saw uptick in substance abuse and violence, are you at liberty to say how we then try to combat that or educate our
Yeah.
students?
Absolutely. So we do a few things. There's a municipal alliance we partner with in the township. They come and do programming for our schools. We also have a substance abuse counselor who's in the school, so should students have any issues with substance, that if they do, they get multiple counseling sessions from her. There's class lessons, there's lessons within our health curriculum. And then we always educate the families, even if students do have a fumble in this area. Although there are consequences, our goal is to work with the students to help them overcome any reason why they're using substances or how we can support them with whatever the issue may be to get them through their trauma or difficulties.
No, that's awesome. And as Dr. Millie, we always quite often talk about is there someone in the building that the students trust? And is this kind of communicating? That's great information, and I'm hoping that, and I think Vera mentioned also that communication, sometimes it gets lost in translation. Are there posted signs, like the students know how to get here, and do they feel safe to be able to identify?
Absolutely. So our schools all have, the high school, for example, Mrs. Chalakis came to present to you. The students know who they are. There's Schoology messages that go out, especially for the middle school through high school grades. In elementary school, it is constantly announced them, one, when they have their lessons, they know who their counselor is and how to access them. If the students have any need for support, they will then ask, to speak with their parent and access to counselor. And pretty much anytime there's support needed within the classroom, the teacher will bring the counselor in as a partner in their room.
Thank you. That's a fabulous job. Keep doing up, Ms. Brown-Grants.
Thank you so much, Mr. Johnson.
No, thank you so much. An example of what you're talking about, that I've attended a couple of these, they're called In Plain Sight, and we work with the municipality and the people who work with kids with substance abuse in the police department. And what'll happen sometimes, I'll get an email that'll say, like, why can't I wear my hoodie down the hall in a middle school? And some of these numbers are due to vaping, and vaping is an issue. And believe it or not, students get caught, and the vape is actually in the string in the hoodie, and you would never know that. And that's why the sessions are called In Plain Sight. So a lot of these things is to make the parents aware of what's going on, and it's a play that they actually put on a stage, and it's very useful and eye-opening. Thank you.
Thank you. And the second part of my report, and not to steal from Mr. Rubin's show, is we are required to report on our HIB self-assessment survey. And we're very proud in Piscataway that all of our schools perform very high. One of the top scores is for their school to achieve is a 78. 90% of our schools achieve that score, so we're very proud of this. We're proud of the work of the schools. It's a collaborative effort. And this is based on programs and training provided by the school, the teachers, the administration, and counselors. Okay, that concludes my report. I'll leave it to you, David.
Thank you, Mrs. Pongratz. Nice job.
Thank you.
Now I'll bring up Mr. Rubin, who will talk about our HIB reports.
Thank you, Dr. Ranelli. As a very brief supplement to Ms. Pongratz's report, under a separate statute, I, as the district HIB coordinator, one of the several hats I wear here, I am required to report twice a year on our HIB statistics. We have a little different reporting period than Ms. Pongratz has for her report. Ours covers two periods a year, September 1st to December 31st and January 1st to June 30th. This report has been circulated to you in writing, summarizes our data for the period September 1st to December 31st. We had a total of 19 claims of HIB that were investigated. They were scattered pretty much throughout each level of our school system. There was a total out of the 19 of 6 substantiated instances of HIB spread between one at the high school and several in the middle school and intermediate schools. Part of my job is to study the statistics to see whether there's any patterns that emerge. Are there instances that are happening more in a particular school than others? Are there sorts of behaviors that are happening on a particular bus or underneath a particular stairwell? Things that we're allowed to target and devote our resources to attach. The good news is that while there are only 6 instances of confirmed HIB, that's 6 too many as far as I'm concerned. We obviously want to get that down to 0, but just keep it into perspective. Fairly manageable number. And based upon the reports that the board sees each month, you can see the resources that we devote in each of those cases, not so much to punish students, but to educate them, to support the victim, and as necessary, the offending students as well. The goal here is prevention, education, not punishment. So that concludes my report as a supplement to Ms. Pongratz, available to answer any questions.
All right, thank you, Mr. Rubin. For the last piece of my superintendent's report, I'd like to take a moment to address several articles and social media posts regarding a recent personnel action I took involving one of our middle school employees, including an article written by the employee herself. Personnel matters are confidential, as they should be. For that reason, I have no intention of discussing the merits of my decision in public, but I do wish to share the following information for those in the community who know me, know how I operate, and know what I stand for. Since my initial appointment as superintendent 3 years ago, this board has charged me with the responsibility for the day-to-day operation of the district. A key element of that responsibility is assembling a team of professionals in which I have confidence and I am prepared to be responsible for because the board holds me accountable. When I consider whether to recommend someone for a contract renewal, I consider not just the quality of their work, but their overall conduct as an employee, including their ability to follow rules, to operate with an established chain of command we have in place, and to be a positive, collaborative member of our team. All these factors are more important when I'm considering an employee in their tenure year, where an appointment for the following year could result in a lifetime guarantee of continued employment here. Because of the large number of employees in our district, in reaching my decision, I take into account information from building level administrators and other people who work with an employee on a regular basis. People I hold accountable to provide me with timely and accurate information. As I said, I have no intention of discussing the details of this particular employment decision, and certainly do not intend to engage in a debate with the public over it. I have access to information that the public does not, and the community is being fed information.
We will conduct ourselves in a civil manner, please. 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 Please.
I have access to information that the public does not, and the community is being fed information that is incomplete and simply false. For those of you who have come into this meeting, once again to advocate for this employee, I completely respect your right to be heard. But as our attorney explained at our last meeting, there is an established procedure for employees to